Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. As you guys know, I'm Matty Betts, one of the hosts on this show. I got my brother, he does the NBA stuff. I talk NHL. That's what you guys are here for. That's what I'm here for. Let's jump into it. As you guys know, you guys can see up here, like I always have, the game that's being played right now. So we got Carolina at Washington. Capitals are up 1-0 right now. Second period just ended. That looks really good for us for our bet that we had in yesterday's video. We had Washington money line. So I like Washington here. Hopefully they can keep it up going into the third period, close out the game with a win. That'd be huge for us. We still need 2 shots on goal for our parlay. The guy that we took in Carolina we took him for the Carolina. I'm blanking on the name. Hurricanes. Yeah, and we took Seth Jarvis for 3 shots on goal. He's only at 1 right now, so we need 2 more. Big third period from him. But yeah, hopefully we can cash on that one. And then we got the second game after that, which would be Edmonton and the Golden Knights. So hopefully those can all cash. But we're going to talk about the games I haven't even talked about yet because I didn't make a video for the start of the second round, so I wasn't able to do that one game that they had, which was, I want to say, yeah, it was Maple Leafs and Panthers. And then 2 days ago, also didn't record a video for the start of the Jets games. So, yeah, we finally get to talk about both of these matchups, and you guys can actually understand where I'm at on them, who I think will win the series, stuff like that. I'll glance over that a little bit, but let's jump into it. First off, we got Maple Leafs at the Panthers. This is, I believe, their third game now. Let's see. Yeah, Maple Leafs are up 2-0. So, game three. Yes, it says it right there, too. I could have looked there instead of my notes, but I trust my notes a little bit more. So, Maple Leafs, they started at home. Panthers lost both games, which, is understandable. Like, that's how it technically should be when you got two really good teams going up against each other. As you guys know, Maple Leafs are really good this year. They won their division, and then you also have the Panthers, who won the Stanley Cup last year. So, reigning, defending champs, going on the road into, Toronto, it's a tall task for anybody. Like, Toronto is a really good team this year, so I wasn't really surprised to see that the Panthers lose both those games. Like, I thought they would be able to steal one just because of how good they are, but the Maple Leafs, they proved, why they won the division and all that. So, good for them. But now we flip it, right? Now we're going to Florida. Florida's in charge now, and then now they kind of have, a little bit of heat on them. A little bit, not really. You can kind of feel pressure in a situation like that where, obviously your opponent's up 2-0 on you, but it was both games were at their home. So now you got to go to your home ice. Hopefully you can do the same, answer back with 2 wins of your own. And it's not like Toronto was able to just destroy them either. Both the games were 1 point games. First game 5-4, next game was 4-3. So, good job by the Maple Leafs to actually win, but it's not like they had like a commanding lead or commanding wins either. It's like they still let the Panthers, hang around, and there's still a chance for the Panthers, near the end of those games. But that being said, in this game, I really like the Panthers here. I do. I think the Panthers will end up winning this series. I'm not sure now because it will end if everybody wins their home games. Obviously, the Maple Leafs will win the series, but I don't know. I had a really good feeling about the Panthers going into this series. Like, I watched them just destroy my Tampa Bay Lightning. Like, the Lightning only won one game. They won that series 4-1, and it was just embarrassing. They just bullied up on the Lightning. Maple Leafs, they literally came out and said they had Matthews. He came out and he was like, yeah, he's like, we're going to establish dominance and we're going to be physical. And that seems like that's exactly what they did in those first 2 games. So, with this game, I'd love to take the money line here on the Panthers. But it's minus 235 as you can see here. Like, if you trusted the Maple Leafs, you could go money line there. If I liked the Maple Leafs a little bit more going into Florida and winning, I would go with the plus 190 because that's huge, right? But the book knows too. It's like they don't think the Maple Leafs are going to win this game either. So I also looked at the over under. I do like the over here at minus 105 just because first game was 9 and then the next game was 7. So you had a lot of goals in those games, so you could easily take the over here at minus 105. I'd be comfortable with that, especially because the Panthers are at home. But you guys know me. I like a little bit juicier of odds, and I know it's not that much juicier, but what we're going to end up doing is I think the Panthers are going to win at home. I do. But I don't think they're going to win by just 1. I think they're going to win by 2, maybe even 3. So give me the Panthers here. We're going to take them at minus 1.5 at plus 118. Like I said, if you don't like that and that scares you a little too much, I love the over here. The money line's just not really good enough odds for me when you're only getting not even half your money back. So We're trying to beat the book here, not just chip away and get small little victories. We're trying to go for the big ones. I know plus 118 isn't that big, but neither is minus 105. But at least it's closer to getting your money back, and then with the minus 1.5, you're getting more than your money back. I really did wish that the minus 1.5 for the Panthers would be a little bit higher, just because the Maple Leafs did win, and both the games were one-score games. So even if the Panthers win, you would think probably just a one-score game. So I thought we'd be able to get like a plus 180, or even maybe even a plus 200, but I think the book knows exactly what I do, is that the Panthers are going to be able to take care of business at home and be able to get a victory, so they're not losing 3-0 in this series. But that's all I got for that. We'll move down a little bit here. I'm gonna move it. Last video I didn't, so you guys couldn't even see the odds on this. But next we got Stars at the Jets. Ah man, Stars, they're leading the series 1-0. They were able to beat Winnipeg 3-2 in Winnipeg, so good for them. I loved the Jets all year. Like, this is how I bet the regular season. It was the Dallas Stars and the Winnipeg Jets. Like, I bet them a lot. Minus 1.5 at homes. I'd take I wouldn't even take the plus 1.5, but I'd take a money line on the road, minus 1.5 at home. I made a lot of money that way, just because you get really good odds. Like, the Stars are favorited here at minus 1.5, and like in Winnipeg, and it's like, I get they just won the first game, but they won it 3-2. And they only won that game because Mikko Rantanen had a hat trick. A natural hat trick, had all 3 goals for the Dallas Stars. So, yeah, good for the Dallas Stars when you can have one person carry you. But is that going to happen again? I don't think so, and I just have way too much trust in the Jets in this game. Like, I mean, I will say, the one thing I don't like about hockey, like, you could probably go look at alt lines. I'm not doing that, or, yeah, like alt spreads and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that, just because for the sake of it being easy, and just the sake of what we're trying to do here, we're trying to just take, where's the book at? Let's just go through it quick and be like, okay, compared to the lines that we actually get here, which ones do I like a lot? So, I do like Winnipeg to win this game. Now, if it was flipped a little bit, you'd be able to get pretty good odds, I think, on Winnipeg, minus 1.5. Sadly, we don't have that here. Like I said, if you do like that pick, I like it a lot. If you can go find an alt spread, that's probably something I would tinker around with or look at. Or maybe even just, minus 1 would just be a money line bet, so that doesn't really make sense. But yeah, what we're going to do here, we're going to do the minus 118. I know it's not a lot. It kind of doesn't really make sense to me either, because you get minus 102 to take the favorite. So it just doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. You get worse odds taking the underdog. Never seen that on a book before, so welcome to NHL hockey betting, or NHL playoff betting. But yeah, I don't mind the over either, just because, like, the last game was 3-2. We only have one game, but we know who the Jets are. We know who the Stars are. They could both, score a lot of points if they want to, or if they get the opportunity. So I don't mind the over at minus 120, but I feel a lot more comfortable with the Jets tying up the series 1-1, and then taking their trip to Dallas and then seeing what they could do there. So for this game, we'll just take the Jets at minus 118. It does kind of suck because you have a minus 118 money line, and then you're taking the Panthers at minus 1.5. They have to win by 2, and it's only a plus 118. So not as good of odds as we've been taking and that we have seen here on the book as of the start of the playoffs. But it's one day, one slate of games. I'm not going to lose sleep over it or lose my mind over it. But yeah, that's what we got for that. Washington, by the way, if you guys haven't been paying attention, they're up 2-0 now. That's huge for us. Like I said, we did take Washington money line, so good for us. There's still 16 minutes left, or 16 and a half minutes, so still a lot of time left in the game, but I think Washington probably closes this out with a win, which means you guys are welcome, because we cashed on that one too. Yeah, and that was a plus 115 money line too, so I had it right here. Just thought I'd mention that. But yeah, we can move on now. Here, let me hide this for you guys. We have our parlay that we do. We take one pick from each game. We just do shots on goal. And like I said, it's just one pick from each game. We try to find lines that are a little bit juicy, because there's only 2 games. So you have to get picks that are actually going to bump up the parlay. When you have 3 or 4 games, you can get it up to, like, you can take some safer bets and get it up to like a plus 400 to 600, somewhere around there, if you want to take like a bunch of minus plays just to get the better odds. But we don't have that option. So for a lot of these, I've been doing just, one pretty solid play, like a minus 140, minus 130, and then I'll try to find one that I like. I like the player, and we get like a plus, 150 to a plus 180, somewhere around there, and then it will juice it up a little bit. So let's hide this. I'll show you guys what I have today. We're going to take Matthew Nyes. Matthew Nyes for Toronto, shots on goal over 1.5. It's a minus 160 play. Like I said, we try to find our first pick, or it might not even be our first pick, but one of our picks is always a minus money play. just to get that baseline. I don't like taking minus 180s or 200s. That just it's really hard to bounce up from that and actually still get really good odds. So we'll take Matthew Nyes over 1.5 for Nyes. He had 2 in the last game, and then he had 3 in game 1. So for me, easy bet. There's already been 2 games played in this series, so I like Matthew Nyes. Obviously, he's getting the puck. Obviously, he's shooting when he has the puck. So, like, yeah, that last game only had 2, but the first game had 3. That shows pretty good. I don't think it'll go down to 1. I think it'll stay at 2, if not go back up to 3. That's what we're hoping for here. I think the book knows it too. That's why it's a minus 160 play. Then moving on, we got Roop Hintz for the Dallas Stars. We're taking him over 2.5. And as you guys can see, that's a plus 145 bet. So not likely, but I mean, the book doesn't think so. But they've only played 1 game in this series, the Stars and the Jets, and he had 3 shots on goal in that game. So I think the book's thinking, oh, it's kind of, it's whatever. It could happen again, but they don't think it's going to. That's why we're getting boosted odds. But I think it will happen again. He is a center for them. So I like it when centers, offensive players, actually get to touch the puck a lot. Like if you take a defenseman to get 2 or 3, that's when it's really like in the danger zone because sometimes they don't even shoot, and then other times they have 1. So you got to be careful with that, and you got to look at the positions and stuff like that too when you're thinking about shots on goal. That's what I've noticed since I've been doing this. So, but yeah, the parlay pays out plus 298. It's Matthew Nyes for Toronto, over 1.5 shots on goal at minus 160. He had 2 in the last game, then he had 3 in the first game. Then we got Roop Hintz over 2.5. That's plus 145 for that one because the book doesn't think it'll happen. They've only played 1 game, but he had 3 shots on goal in that one. Parlay pays out plus 298. I like both of those picks. Let me know down in the comments what you guys like. If you guys don't like those picks, why you don't, and then if you do like those picks, just double down on what I already said. I don't mind hearing something that I already talked about or I already said. But yeah, other than that, that's all we got for you guys. Hopefully, Washington can hold out here. We can cash on that bet. We'll talk about it probably tomorrow. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the video. Stick around a while. Look at some NBA bets. We got a lot of those NBA videos. My brother's been killing it. Does one pretty much every single day. He's been very consistent, and I'm pretty sure he's still winning. We'll see. I'll talk to him a little bit later, but find out what his hit percentage is right now. But we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you.